Hey, what's up, America? No Snitch November. You're going to want to share this because apparently there's a trend starting called No Snitch November. You guys want to know what No Snitch November is? Why, No Snitch November is where in a store when people are stealing shit because they don't have food stamps, you're not going to snitch on them whatsoever. Yep, just let them steal. That's the trend starting. No Snitch November. So obviously I don't condone stealing in any way, shape, or form whatsoever for any reason. But even though I think this food stamp bullshit is totally an avoidable situation, I'm not gonna say or look any direction, obviously. But if you come and try to take shit out of my cart, I'm gonna fuck you up like you can't even imagine. So it's Walmart security's job, or whoever it is, to stop that shit. I'm not deputized, but I am deputized to the point where if you come and approach and try to take my food, you're gonna have a really big problem. And it's gonna end up terrifyingly bad for you or anybody you're working with. So like I said, I don't work for Walmart or any other big company that would sell food like that. Nor am I a security guard or a police officer. So public safety isn't my problem unless you're hurting somebody else, which then it becomes my problem. Or if you try to steal my personal effects, food, or attack my family, that's also gonna be my problem. And since I carry everywhere I go, it would become your problem also, which is unfortunate. So no Snitch November. Just want to warn everybody out there that they're starting that shit. What's up, America? It's November 1st, and you know what that means. That means most of you didn't get food stamps who were expecting to get food stamps. Even though 2 federal judges ordered people to be paid their food stamps, not much or any money came to anybody last night or this morning. So I've already seen some videos of people trying to steal shit from stores and run out with it. Just saw a video of an entire family stealing shit and running out to the car. I'll post those over on my YouTube channel, Hello America Sup. But it looks like the food stamp gravy train with biscuit wheels has come to a complete stop here in the United States. Now, more than likely, this won't last very long. People will probably get food stamps and WIC very soon, probably the next couple of days. But it is the government here in America, so remember, expect them to fuck you also. At the same time, the government's been also fucking the American people by giving illegal immigrants benefits that you've been paying for. So talk about being fucked coming and going, huh? So that's happening as we enter day 31 of the government shutdown. Yippee!
Okay, so yes, November's benefits, people are getting alerts saying that if the government shutdown continues, that there may be insufficient funds for the month of November. However, food stamps are a mandatory program. Citizens, participants are legally entitled to these funds. So in the past, if something like this happens and has happened, they take extreme measures to make sure that the recipients are receiving this funding because it is life securing and saving funding. This goes out to disabled people who are unable to leave their homes. This is not something that they would take lightly. It would be very serious. It would cause major grocery store shutdowns because they are gearing up every month, the beginning of the month, for all of these millions of dollars of EBT and food stamps to be coming through. There would be so much chaos coming from this. They would not allow it, regardless of what you think about Trump. It's not going to happen. Do not let fear set in. Trust in our Lord and know that everything is going to be okay. I'm just trying to make sure you guys know how important this is to the government.
It looks like we get food stamps, people. It looks like the food stamps are back on. So a judge had blocked, his motion to stop the food stamps benefits and stuff like that right there. So yeah, they said that he must use emergency funds to fund the SNAP benefit program. So looks like hopefully, I don't think the decision is final, but being that it was blocked, so hopefully that means that, the people and the families are going to get their food stamps. Because I ain't even gonna lie, I was worried for some people. Some people didn't know how they was going to eat for the holidays. Some people really depend on those food stamps, despite what people think, despite what people getting on here, getting mad at people, talking about, oh, you shouldn't have all them kids and all this extra stuff. Look, listen, they don't have nothing to do with the price of tea in China, okay? I'm just glad that it's happening because y'all know, I think a couple of days ago they said that a couple of states was actually suing Trump for this right here. So hopefully they do have the food stamps back on for November just in time. They didn't say if it was going to be fully I guess funded or whatever. So does that mean people are going to get partial payments? I don't know. Or some people going to get their payments and some people are not. I don't know. I feel like this is good news.
What's up, everyone? It's Lick, and this is Lick's Take. So it is November, and a lot of people were expecting their SNAP or EBT benefits drop by now. But I want to know, did you actually get yours? Because for millions of Americans, that deposit never showed up. And remember that over 42 million people rely on SNAP every month just to eat. Guys, we got a more video like this. Remember that credit goes to download the video. I'll come back with a comment. Let's get into it.
So what's going on with food stamps about to run out? 42 million Americans who depend on the SNAP or Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program to eat, to survive. That's going to run out on Saturday? Yep. And let me explain. So right now, if you go to the U.S. Department of Agriculture website, it says, quote, Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program, also known as SNAP. Bottom line, the well has run dry. We're approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures, or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive critical nutrition assistance. That's quite a stark description of the reason that the government is shut down. Democrats say they're doing it to restore Medicaid benefits and also to continue the extension of the Obamacare subsidy so people can afford health insurance, which expires at the end of the year. But be that as it may, Democrats say, wait a second, there is a contingency fund for food stamps. And in fact, you can go back on the Wayback Machine and find a memo from all the way back just on September 30th of this year, so not really that long ago, that says congressional intent is evident that SNAP's operation should continue since the program has been provided with multi-year contingency funds to ensure that the state can continue operations during a federal government shutdown. Multi-year contingency funds available to fund participant benefits in the event that a lapse occurs in the middle of the fiscal year. So that's a Trump Agricultural Department memo from September 30th, but it's no longer on their website. And I asked USDA, what's up with that? And they said, oh, that's an iterative document. I said, what does that mean? They said it's constantly changing. They no longer think it's true. They think that their current legal analysis, which they acknowledge many disagree with, is that these funds are only for the event of a natural disaster, even if this September 30th document says it's for a government shutdown or can be used for a government shutdown. Democrats say that the Trump administration is changing their interpretation of the law so they can use the hunger of 42 million Americans to pressure Democrats to vote to reopen the government. The Trump administration says, no, that's not true. This is just their legal interpretation, and Democrats should vote to reopen the government because these are vital nutrition programs. In any case, what's going to happen is, unless something changes, 42 million Americans are at risk of going hungry.
42 million Americans are going to go hungry starting today as food stamps have run out due to the federal government shutdown. And food pantries are all almost completely out of food. There was a little bit of movement in the courts yesterday. A judge said it's going to be the responsibility of the people in charge of food in America to temporarily fund food stamps, but the person in charge of food in America came out and said that there is an emergency fund, but that emergency fund doesn't even cover half of the $9.2 billion that would be required for November food stamps. And that emergency fund is only allowed to flow if the underlying program is funded. The underlying program in this case is food stamps. Just as a reminder, most people who get food stamps have jobs, but do not get paid enough to afford food and rent and health insurance. Republicans are trying to take away their health insurance. Democrats are trying to stop that. That's why we have a shutdown.
Day one of people not getting their SNAP benefits here in November, and I'm here to remind you, I don't feel bad for them. Do you realize that people on SNAP benefits are eating better than the rest of us? We literally have to scrounge and budget for our groceries for our children. We have to plan meals. We have to be ingredient households just to feed our children. And mind you, half of the people on SNAP benefits are illegal immigrants. Over 60% of them are illegal immigrants. This was never the way that it was supposed to be. Churches are supposed to feed people, food pantries, that's what they're there for. And somehow people felt comfortable letting the government control whether they eat or not. How embarrassing, right? Now, don't get me wrong, I don't need all the people in my comment section in my DM saying, what about the people who fell on hard times? And what about disabled people? What about elderly people? Yes, those are the people that should be on it. Do I think that there are 42 million of them? Absolutely not. Do I think that it should cost $7.8 billion with a B to feed them every single month? Absolutely not. Do I think that the reason why our groceries have gotten so expensive is because of programs like this and illegal immigrants coming in and stealing our resources? Absolutely. That's definitely part of the problem. So no, don't feel bad. Keep the government closed. We need to see this through, and we need to make sure that we get rid of everybody who is on these benefits that don't need them.
Okay, here it is the problem. The government shutdown and the budget standoff have put the program at serious risk. Even though officers said benefits should continue, many families are already reporting delay or missing payment. So I am seeing people online posting screenshots of zero balances, others saying their local offices can't even give them clear answers. This is not just about political agreement anymore. This is about the real food, real family, real lives. Imagine expecting help from groceries and getting nothing right before the holidays. That's what's happening right now in some states. So, if you are watching this, please give us your thought, give us a comment about your situation. Did you get SNAP or EBT come in this month? Or are you waiting? Let's find out the real happening right now on the ground. Guys, I still have another one. Let's watch them. I will come back with a comment.
Y'all, a little birdie just told me something. What? A little birdie just told me something. EBT is back on, y'all. So all y'all Karens that was literally laughing, preying on people's downfall, laughing at children that wasn't going to have any food, laughing at veterans, laughing at disabled people that wasn't going to be able to eat all month long, go get a job. We got jobs. Qualified for a reason, y'all. There's income requirements, okay? And we ain't even going to go through all that, all right? We are not going to go through all that. Just know if someone is qualified, it's because they need it. They need it. So for 42 million Americans was going to go without any food. And you guys were happy about that. You guys are evil. 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 I understand that there's some people that don't abide by rules, but that doesn't mean everybody got to go.
Gotta go down for it. Sorry, someone called.
I just witnessed a family trying to buy food with SNAP benefits, and it's November 1st, and they didn't know, and there was nothing on their card. A mother, a father, and a little girl who was probably about 3 years old, 4 years old, standing there trying to figure out what they were going to do because they needed their groceries. Everyone should have food. Everyone should have food. Doesn't matter if you're a drug addict. Doesn't matter if you're homeless. Doesn't matter who you are. Food is a human necessity. Food, water, and shelter, and health care. We're not promised any of those things in the United States. Not unless you have the money.
Stop freaking out about your food stamps for November. So if you are a SNAP, an EBT recipient, a food stamp recipient, and you're hearing all of this gibberish and people are coming out and saying they work for the government and they did this and they heard this, they're doing it for views, okay? If they call out a bunch of stuff and get you guys in fear, it's going to make you watch it. Somebody who has done TikTok and knows how it works, these are all just tactics to get you to watch their videos. But I have been seeing for many years government shutdowns. They would never allow their citizens, millions and millions of people, to go without life-saving food stamps. This is their only means to get food. So if they did something like this, it would cause mass chaos, and President Trump would not allow that. He is a good man regardless of what you guys think, and he would not allow his citizens to go without these measures. So stop worrying, trust in God. This is not going to happen, and just don't listen to it. Just turn your phone off because it's just fear tactics.
What I'm saying matters, especially for families, single parents, and anyone relying on food assistance right now. Think are already rough, and they might get worse going into December. Crimes could rise, mental health could drop, and people are going to struggle. Please stay alert, stay informed, and share this video to spread awareness, because nobody should have to wonder where their next meal is coming from. Guys, don't forget, my name is Rick and this is Ricka's Tech. Stay safe, stay smart, and I will always provide the good video like this. If you like it, subscribe. See you on another one. I love you guys.